India as a country is changing, and in last 4 years, we have seen a great penetration which has happened through internet, and today we are close to about 600 million internet users, which is about 55% of the population penetration. With this penetration comes, or medium comes, a great democratization of information which is happening. And the way people are discovering, consuming, or exchanging information has changed. How do you see the role of technology in enablement and empowerment of India as a country? Is my first question.
आपने कहा कम्युनिकेशन बढ़ा है, फिर भी आज क्यों परिवारों में लगता है कि कोई किसी से बात नहीं करता? आपने कहा इन्फॉर्मेशन बढ़ा है, फिर भी आपको क्यों फैक्ट चेक चलाना पड़ता है? और मुझे लगता है कि इट्स 800 मिलियन इंटरनेट यूजर्स नाउ. इफ वी डू नॉट एड्रेस दीज इश्यूज नाउ, then we look forward to a time filled with challenges that the world sees currently. हमारी अगर सबसे बड़ी कोई स्ट्रेंथ है वो ये कि हम चाहे कितना भी आसमान छू लें, वी ऑलवेज स्टे रूटेड. और ये एक क्विंटेसेंशियल इंडियन क्वालिटी है. इसका मैं आपको एक जक्सटपोज्ड वर्जन बता सकती हूँ. हमारे देश के बारे में आज से 3 साल पहले अगर कोई ये कहता कि हम अपने देश में पैंडेमिक की अवस्था में अल्प समय में एक ऐसे वैक्सीन का निर्माण करेंगे जिसकी ज़रूरत हमको नहीं पूरी दुनिया को होगी, तो कोई नहीं मानता. अगर हम आज से 3 साल पहले कहते कि हम ना सिर्फ उस वैक्सीन की निर्मित करेंगे बल्कि 100 करोड़ से ज़्यादा लोगों को 200 करोड़ डोज दिलवा भी देंगे टेक्नोलॉजी के आधार पर, तो कोई विश्वास नहीं करता. अगर हम आज से 3 साल पहले कहते कि हम 800 मिलियन लोगों तक मुफ्त का राशन 3 साल सतत पहुंचाएंगे, तो कोई हमको विश्वास नहीं करता. अगर हम आज से 3 साल पहले लोगों से कहते कि हिंदुस्तान विश्व की फार्मेसी बन जाएगा, तो कोई हम पे विश्वास नहीं करता. अगर आज से 3 साल पहले हम किसी से कहते कि आपको पैरासीटामोल चाहिए तो 160 देशों में हिंदुस्तान वो पहुंचाएगा, तो लोग हिंदुस्तानी को देखकर हंसते. लेकिन हमने इस 3 साल की अवधि में, विशेष कोविड के वक्त, व्हेन बॉर्डर्स हैड कम टू अ क्लोज, वी डिड इट. लेकिन एक हिंदुस्तानी होने के नाते मुझे इस बात का संतोष है, वी बिकेम द फार्मेसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, बट वी वर नॉट एरोगेंट अबाउट इट. We sent vaccines, but we did not profit from the misery of people. कुछ देशों में तो टॉयलेट पेपर तक खत्म हो गया था, लेकिन हमारे देश में किसी ने किसी का साथ नहीं छोड़ा. हमारे देश में 6,22,000 गांव हैं. जब पैंडेमिक हुआ था तब लोगों ने कहा कि गांव का हिंदुस्तानी क्या करेगा. और सबसे ज़्यादा संयम, सबसे ज़्यादा उदारता अगर विश्व में किसी ने दिखाई तो हिंदुस्तान में गांव में बसने वाले उस हिंदुस्तानी ने दिखाई. और मैं इस उदारता की प्रत्यक्ष साक्षी रही हूँ, सिर्फ पैंडेमिक के वक्त नहीं. मैंने 17 साल अपने जीवन के शहर में बिताए, यहाँ जन्मी. 20 साल से ज़्यादा मैंने मुंबई में बिताए, वहाँ पर मैंने काम किया. मुझे आज भी याद है 26/11 का वो नज़ारा, जब मैं दिल्ली में किसी चुनाव की रैली में थी, शाम को लौटी. मेरी सबसे बड़ी बेटी लियोपोल्ड में थी जहाँ पर अटैक हुआ. मेरी सास ससुर वो ताज में थे जहाँ अटैक हुआ. और मुझे याद है that the only way you can survive that trauma is on the base of the kindness of others. And I'm proud that the others are fellow Indians.
Very well said.
तो अगर आप इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी की दृष्टि से देखें क्या बदलाव आएगा, तो एक माँ होने के नाते मेरा प्रश्न आज भी यही है कि अगर कम्युनिकेशन बढ़ा है तो घर पर बातचीत कम क्यों हो गई? क्योंकि वही हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत है कि हमारे यहाँ जेनरेशनली कॉन्वर्सेशंस कुछ मुद्दों पर टफ थी, कुछ मुद्दों पर हम कहते थे कि माता पिता के सामने बोलती बंद हो जाती थी, लेकिन फिर भी परिवार में कोई ना कोई था बात करने को. आज कितने लोग हैं जो टेक्नोलॉजी को अपना बच्चा सुपुर्द कर देते हैं और फिर कहते हैं अरे बच्चा सुनता नहीं है। आज कितने लोग हैं जो आकर हिदायत देते हैं मीडिया को कि जी फलां फलां चीज़ देख के बच्चा बिगड़ गया है, लेकिन वो डिसिप्लिन इम्पोज नहीं करना चाहते क्योंकि अनपॉपुलर हो जाएंगे अपने ही बच्चों के सामने। आज कितने लोग हैं जो कहते हैं अरे सारा दिन कहाँ निकल गया पता ही नहीं चला, लेकिन अगर बोलो कि बैठ के इवैल्यूएट करो कि दिन कहाँ बीता, तो अगर आप श्रृंखलाबद्ध उसको लिखेंगे तो कहेंगे एक्चुअली ज़्यादा कुछ किया नहीं। तो मुझे लगता है कि what technology has thrown up to us is opportunity, yes. Democratization not only of information but also of opportunity. Democratization of opinions. But what it brings to us is a responsibility to be more responsible.
I think technology is a two-edged sword. And while, as you rightly pointed, that there is a great democratization which comes at a cost of responsibility, how do you see the role of technology in enablement and empowerment? So, especially considering
We have
the
to
youth.
be cognizant of the fact that technology comes with no emotion.
Yes.
It is those who provide technology that come with that emotional quotient. So if we dissect that, I think we will be more accelerated in our desire to provide solution. So how humane is the outlook of those who leverage technology, deliver technology, or use technology? I think that should be the focus of conversations. For instance, you have something called Vishwas News or herzindagi.com. Each of them signify and have a social context. Now, how many of us who are a part, let's say, of that platform have ever evaluated or analyzed that social context? The women that you will today honor, were they waiting for a platform to recognize? No. They did what they did because they were passionate about a particular thing. What does your platform and this opportunity to honor them get? It gets them a place where their voice can become an inspiration for many. So, how is that weaving into your question? That you, as a person who leads that campaign, are compassionate enough to commercialize that prospect. Let's be honest. Till such time that compassion is not married to commerce, we will not have forums like this.
For us, our vision statement is to produce credible and factual content that empowers New India through knowledge, information, and point of view towards an inclusive and progressive society. For us, I think as a young Indian, we feel that what India really needs to be is more inclusive and progressive.
So let me give you a very small example. We had a legislation waiting passage for 4 decades. It was a medical termination of pregnancy at 24 weeks. Now, that legislation passed both houses of parliament without anybody opposing it. It was proposed by a male prime minister. And there's not a man in India who opposed that legislation. Try that in the United States of America. Try that in Europe. Try that in any part of the English-speaking world. They will not do it. Why? Because they believe that a woman's personal reproductive right is up for public debate. What I'm proud as an Indian is that Indian men believe that a woman's reproductive right is her right alone. आप इंक्लूजन की बात करते हैं. इंक्लूसिव का मतलब क्या कि अब पर्यावरण की दृष्टि से भी लोग कहते हैं वी आर एनवायरमेंटली सस्टेनेबल. अरे हम तो सालों साल से नदी को माँ कह रहे हैं. आपने तुलसी का पौधा दिया मुझे आज, उसका कॉनोटेशन अलग होगा, लेकिन अपने घर में उसको रखकर पूछते हैं. विश्व का एक देश बता दो, एक सभ्यता बता दो जो गाय को रोटी खिलाता हो, नदी को माँ कहता हो, पेड़ का पूजन करता हो, हमको आकर अब कोई सिखाएगा आपको इंक्लूसिव कैसे बनना है, सस्टेनेबल कैसे बनना है. These are the buzzwords. I mean, my biggest grudge as a mother was when my kid said, "मम्मा, Starbucks में टर्मरिक लाटे है." मैंने कहा किसी ने अगर उसको खरीदा तो सबसे पहले पेला जाएगा घर में. क्योंकि जब माँ हल्दी का दूध देती है तब नाक उठा के सिकुड़ के बैठे रहते हैं, और जब लाते आता है टर्मरिक वाला तो लाइन में खड़े हो जाते हैं. खबरदार. So I think that it's also about packaging, right? That there is a thought process. If you tick that box, apparently you're it. But boss, we were already it. You woke up. I mean, I get very hassled when somebody gives me this whole cardiovascular rhythm of breathing. मैंने कहा योगा देखा है क्या? So I also feel that with this advancement of technology, as Indians, this is our time to say, tell the world, been there, done that.
What do we expect for India as a country to drive out of G20? What are the top lines if you would like to share
I
and
think that
inspire?
there are 2-3 issues one needs to highlight. When some of the most advanced economies, and I'm not saying societies, when some of the most advanced economies come to your country, they see your inherent potential, which can be leveraged for future economics, which can also be leveraged to reposition economic interests and economic collaborations. So if you ask anybody who comes as a participant, they've come with a mindset about India. What is that mindset? That, oh, every Indian woman needs to be rescued. I was at a program yesterday where I had some American participants telling me, what can we do for India? मैंने भैया हमको रेस्क्यू की जरूरत नहीं है, तुमको है. हमारे यहाँ पे राष्ट्रपति महिला है, तुम चुन के दिखाओ. So I think that this is a great opportunity to showcase to the world the Indian ability to provide solutions frugally with a global impact of the pandemic. People are now looking for solutions which are sustainable, long-term, which are technologically very enhanced, which are nuanced from a gender diversity point of view. And India has given those solutions. For instance, our Mars mission was 10 times cheaper than the American Mars mission. But the beauty of it is that it was led by a woman. And the deputies were both women. So I think these are the examples that we can position. For the first time in G20, the agenda of women is not on the sidelines. The Prime Minister has made the female agency the main agenda of G20. It's never happened before. So that is our gift to the women of the world, that we have a head of state who's saying, don't keep women at the sidelines of the G20, make them the main agenda. And that is why I've said, any smart economist knows that if you have women at the center of the economic agenda, you benefit society at large, because we have now substantially proved that when women's purchasing power is enhanced, they spend more on health and education for their families. They tend to save more. And if you want to enhance your capacity of GDP, you need to have more and more women at work. You need to have more and more women who have the capacity to save more, because that has a positive impact on your GDP.
But in your experience, like I think Smriti ji, you have seen it all, like from being on television as a star to being recognized by a World Economic Forum for your achievements, to being the youngest women to be appointed in Rajya Sabha, and now a very powerful voice of women, a very powerful minister. So what is your advice to the participants over here?
Women
How
don't
should
need
they
advice. They know exactly what they're doing. So I've had the good privilege of working in media and politics, and in two different fields. To have success is nothing short of a blessing. I think that men need advice right now. While I say this in jest that men need advice, there's genuinely a need to have a conversation around the fact what happens when the power shifts in a family system or in a relationship, even if it's not a family. How many men are comfortable if suddenly the female partner ends up making more money? How many men are comfortable if their entire demeanor is defined by how popular the partner is in her professional field? This is a serious issue. Because if we do not correct this, it impacts the kids in the relationship who are watching that balance of power. What happens when you walk into a party and nobody shakes your hand but says, "Arey, kaise aap?" to the lady in your life? How many such parties will you withstand before you blow up at home? How many times will you go to a family gathering where somebody says, "Acha, बीवी ज़्यादा कमाती है क्या?" How many such get-togethers will you go to where you're told, "अरे शादी नहीं की अभी तक?" So I think those are the people who need the advice, not these women here. Agree?
Agreed. But see, I think
After all, it's her zindagi, so let her
हाँ,
speak.
आपने हर जिंदगी के सारे पहलू खोल दिए. Thank you so much, Smriti ji. I think the conversation and as a personality, you're fierce, transparent, and very, very inspiring. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
spending time with us.